Hey, what's up, guys? Back here with another episode of What the Real Podcast, and I'm your host, Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
We're going to be doing a review of the movie Eileen. I have a lot to say, but you recommend this movie for us to review.
I saw the trailer. The trailer looks good, and all I'm saying is I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I want to say email us at whattherealpodcast@gmail.com with what you think about this movie and stuff like that.
Yeah, let us know. So, I didn't like this movie. Let's start with that. I didn't like the movie.
I didn't like it either.
Yeah. So it had some potential to be good, and it didn't live up to it. All right, let's just start from the beginning. Okay. Eileen, the character, let's just talk about the character, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Eileen, it's based off what, in the 60s, the movie?
I think it was 64, yeah.
60s and what, Massachusetts. Everyone has their Boston, well, not Boston, but the Massachusetts, they have their accent, exactly. I couldn't even think of it. This movie, it just gets me mad. So the character Eileen, she's freaking clumsy, where everyone's like by her age, they're married and have kids. She living with her father. She's clumsy. She's a little crazy in the head.
She needs to get her sexual urges.
Yes,
under control.
very. She works at a prison, but it's like a juvenile prison.
A juvenile prison for boys.
For boys, yeah. So she's working there. Her dad's like the ex-chief. But yeah, she definitely has some mental issues. We see her pretty much doing some things to herself in the freaking prison.
Yes.
Right in the where she's in a room with the next room with other people. Like, she is literally, little messed up in the head.
But her home life isn't good. Her dad is an alcoholic who drinks all the time, and he's crazy. He goes out. He's crazy too, just like she is.
Yeah.
He goes out into the streets with his gun, waving a gun at people, pointing it out the window, at kids walking home from school. So she doesn't have a good home life. Then she goes to work, and she's not really liked at work.
Yeah, everyone's
either.
shitting on her. Yeah, everyone's shitting on her. The people at work, they don't like her. They're shitting on her. Her father shits on her, like, says you're no good. You're not as good as your sister and all that stuff. Yeah. So she gets it really bad. All right. So while she's there, they get a new psychiatrist. She comes in. What was that name?
Rebecca.
Played by Anne Hathaway. Like, okay.
That's the only reason why I recommended this movie, because Anne Hathaway was in it. I would not have recommended if it wasn't for her, but the trailer seemed pretty good. Just to clarify. Yeah,
so, Anne Hathaway's character comes in, Rebecca. She's in, and, like, we see Eileen. She's taking a liking to her.
She's in awe.
Yeah. Like, almost like, she's like, do you admire her, or are you falling in love with her? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So, and we see Rebecca. She notices that, hey, this girl's looking at me like that. Let's be friends with her,
Mm-hmm.
So they become friends. They get a little relationship. We see Eileen's kind of almost like trying to impress her and stuff like that. I think they went out for beer or something like that.
They went to a bar and they danced together. Rebecca's character puts her hand on Eileen's leg in the bar. They dance together. They get really close. And then after they're outside, after the bar, they kiss.
Yeah, they kiss.
Well, Rebecca kisses Eileen, and then Eileen is like,
oh my, yeah, she's like,
oh my God, did
so
this
good.
really just happen?
Yeah. So the movie is kind of setting up like, almost like Eileen is going to be obsessed with Rebecca, and maybe Eileen does something crazy to Rebecca or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's setting up, or it could be setting like Rebecca is using Eileen, or it's kind of weird. But another thing that was happening with Eileen, I forgot to say that she would always get these little like almost like daydreams.
Yeah.
Where she would
like killing herself
Yeah.
or killing someone, something like that. It was just crazy nonsense.
Yeah, so it's pretty much kind of like she's not really right in the head. So, she a couple times she shot herself. Trying to think of the other things she did, but definitely a lot of like that. I would actually would like to see more of that just to prove that okay, Eileen's not right in the head. Keep doing more of that. Make her like has a crazy imagination or something like that. Also, she has an eating disorder as well. I don't know if you ever caught that, where she was taking the candy and just chewing it and then spitting it out. She was just trying to get all the sugar.
I didn't pay attention to that. No.
Because
but she did say to Rebecca that she does eat a lot of candies, and she's like,
yeah,
well, you're so skinny. I never noticed that.
Yeah. So because she was saying her teeth was rotting when she was upstairs in her room, she was eating candy and like just spitting it back out. Or you see her, I think she was drinking coffee and like had a whole bunch of like sugar.
Yeah, that I noticed. That I was like, girl, how much sugar are you gonna put in your coffee?
Yeah. So it was definitely crazy with that. So that's like they're building up. So they're slowly building up this thing with Eileen and Rebecca, how Eileen is, infatuated with Rebecca, and I'm like, okay, I don't mind a movie with a slow build. It has a good slow build, fine. This movie was very slow build. I think the 3/4 of the movie was just build up.
Yeah, it was.
But it's like, if you're going to build up, you got to make sure you have a good payoff to the build up.
Yeah.
And
Rebecca was just a tease for Eileen, though.
Yeah.
Just a tease. Like, she knew that she could play her because she knew that she liked her.
Yeah. And then we see this thing with Eileen is staring at one of the inmates. I forgot his name. But outside, there's inmates sitting outside constantly. She's staring at him. We come to find out that one of the inmates, he was a young boy, ended up stabbing his father.
Yeah.
And then we see the mother come to have a visit with him with Rebecca, and he would not say anything to the mother. And then we see Rebecca. She was like, hey, you still want to talk to me? Because obviously this kid is not talking to his mother, but he wants to talk to Rebecca. So we were like, okay, maybe Rebecca's like really good, psychiatrist. She's,
exactly,
getting this kid to talk. We see Eileen, which this is a crazy scene. It kind of threw me for a loop for a second. So we see Eileen walking to this door. We see Rebecca jumping out while she's in the room with the kid, and she's out of breath. And I'm like, what is she doing in the room with him? I literally thought like something was up. I don't know if you caught that.
It's possible.
Because she stepped out, but I now knowing what happened, I know why she was out of breath, because the boy told her why he did what he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, but so yeah, it's like stuff like that is fun. I actually enjoy stuff like that. So if you go back and watch it again, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's like a little giveaway. Because at first I thought she was messing around with the boy. But now she was out of breath because she knew why the little boy did what he did to his father. But so let's talk about this payoff though. Like we see, before that, we see Eileen. She gets invited for Christmas. I think was it Christmas?
It was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, for Rebecca invited to come over for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. So she goes over to the house and
she brings wine with her.
And
she doesn't like wine. That's another thing. Rebecca got Eileen to smoke cigarettes, and she never smoked cigarettes in her life.
Yeah.
And then she brings wine and she doesn't drink wine, but she's like, oh, that's disgusting or repulsive or something like that. And Rebecca's like, oh, no, I think it's good or whatever.
Yeah, like also she was drinking the night before and puking it up in the truck
Oh,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
that's right.
So like she's like just a weird character. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if they tried to make her likable, but I don't understand why would you like Eileen as a character? Like maybe they try to make you feel bad for her, I guess, but it's just I didn't feel anything for Eileen at all. Like I didn't care for her at all. I don't know. I don't know why. I think I felt more for Rebecca. Actually, I felt more for the mother that was in the basement more than
Oh,
anything, but
Miss Pulp, I think it is.
Polk, yeah, I think so. So, all right, so she comes over. They have wine they didn't like. And
Well,
then
Eileen didn't like.
yeah, Eileen. But so another thing I caught was Eileen was like, "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom." So she goes in the bathroom. She's trying to play it cool, like, "Oh my god, you know." What you think? All right, Eileen's falling in love with Rebecca. You know,
Yeah.
she goes in the bathroom, like, "All right, let me calm down. You know, make
Get it
sure
together.
get it together." And she's about to open up
The
the medicine
medicine cabinet.
cabinet, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm making noise, so let me stop." If she opened that medicine cabinet, it'd have been a different movie. You know?
Yeah. She would have figured out whose house it was.
Yeah.
Because when. So they're drinking, and then Rebecca's like, I need you to promise me you're not going to tell anyone this. And she's like, I promise. And she's like, okay. And she's like, I have Mrs. Pope tied up in the basement. She's like, I came here to get a confession from her. And she wouldn't give it. And then she was mad, so she came back, and they fell down the basement stairs. She hit her with a chair and then tied her up in the basement. And then she took, what was it? Codeine?
Yeah, I think it was maybe codeine, some
Codeine
kind of
some medicine from the cabinet. And she's like, I just gave her some to knock her out.
yeah,
And then, yeah.
yeah, and like, holy crap, something actually happened in this movie, and I'm like, oh wow, so I'm like, okay, I kind of like this part. I think they kind of made it like, okay, Eileen was the one that's going to be crazy, and then we come to find out it was Rebecca was crazy.
Yeah.
But
It
at
really
first,
wasn't Rebecca's house.
yeah,
It was Mrs. Polk's
it was
house.
Mrs. Polkhouse. So we're like, oh crap, what's going on? Maybe she kidnapped her. You know, why would she do this? And then we come to find out it was because she got the confession from the boy about what really happened, and you know, Miss Polk didn't want to tell her that, and so she wanted her to tell that so she won't get arrested for doing what she did by
Yeah.
locking her up. Which
That's
is like
why she brought Eileen there to
Yeah,
get the confession.
to get a
So
confession.
two people are better than one.
Yeah. Which I mean, you still probably get locked up for something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you did still lock her up, you know, tie her up and all that stuff.
Yeah. And then after she said that, she's like, Eileen wanted to leave, but she wouldn't let her leave. She got her to stay. And then Eileen ran to her car, grabbed her dad's gun,
Mm-hmm.
and brought it in and was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And she brought it down to the basement, and she's like, I will kill you if you don't confess right now. And then the lady starts talking, Mrs. Pulp starts talking, and Eileen didn't like what she was saying, and she pulled the trigger, shot her right in the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, I'm bleeding, I'll get you sent to jail for what you did, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And then Rebecca's like, Eileen, help me. And they took the codeine pills and shoved them down her mouth, and she held her hand over her mouth and nose
Until she
and
swallowed
suffocated
it.
her
Yeah.
to death.
Well, I don't think
So-
she died there. I think they kind of like just had to get her to swallow it
Oh, okay.
because what happened later with the car.
yeah.
But one thing about this scene, okay, let me break it down a little bit more with this scene. So I forgot her name, but the lady who plays Mrs. Polk did an awesome job right in that scene. Really
Yeah.
good acting. But one thing they could have made this good was the fact that, all right, it's almost like a double twist. So you're thinking, oh crap, Rebecca's the crazy one. She just kidnapped Miss Polk. but then you find out no, she's trying to get a confession, and then we say, oh wait, Rebecca, Eileen is the crazy one because she shot her. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
so it's like, all right, it's not. We first you think it's Rebecca's crazy. No, Eileen's still crazy. She's the crazy one. So I'm like, okay, she shot her. Rebecca was like, wait, why'd you shoot her? We got the confession.
Yeah, she said
like, why'd
she
you
made
shoot
me
her?
angry.
She made me angry. So pretty much Eileen finally snapped from all the other stuff. She was always daydreaming about shooting people and all this stuff. She finally had the gun in her hand in real life. She ended up shooting Mrs. Polk, and then we see Rebecca's like, okay, all right, let's have a plan what we're gonna do. And Eileen's okay, we'll take it to my house, we'll blame it on my dad. I'm like, really? That's kind of messed up. even if your dad treats you like shit, it's still your dad.
And she said to her, she's like, I love you, we'll take him to my dad,
I love you,
we'll take him to my place, we'll blame it on my dad, and then we'll go to New York together.
Yeah. And I think they kind of messed up with this. They could have had Rebecca say oh, okay, all right, like almost like that, but they had Rebecca like 100% with it. Like, okay, let's do it. And then so we see they put her in the car. They Eileen takes her, and then Rebecca's like, all right, I'll meet you over there. I'll meet you at the house.
Yeah.
And then she never shows up.
She waited for a while.
Yeah. And she just sits there and never showed up. So Rebecca found out, oh, this girl's crazy. I kind of messed up, with hitting her and down the stairs and tying her up. But, I found a remedy to that, and Eileen screwed that up by shooting her. So I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget this. Or it's just like, which is kind of dumb because what do you think is going to happen? You're still going to get, like, I don't know. If you run away and Eileen and messes it up, it's going to come back to her anyway. So you might as well try to get rid of her. But then the most stupidest thing happens in this movie. And I don't know what but I was like, what the fuck is going on? But we see Eileen is like, okay, well, obviously she's not coming. So let me just go in the car and just drive. Just drive.
Yeah.
And then I guess the car had problems. So she just kept the car running and it filled up with smoke with the lady inside. And she ended up dying then. Then I'm like, okay, where are you going to take her out the car? And are you going to put her outside in the, and then leave the body? No. She just leave. Like
they're going to trace that car back to you. Okay. Here's my thing. She could have gotten away with that dead body in the car if there was not a gunshot wound. Because think about it. It could have been someone was trying to commit suicide and take the pills and use the exhaust. Because her car was in bad shape and there was exhaust leaking into her car, so she had to drive with her windows open. But she had her windows closed and it just filled with the exhaust. So she could have gotten away with it if there was no gunshot wound.
Yeah, I mean, even if she just took the body and left it, and if they cleaned up the house, as long as no one's seen them there, they could have got away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would the therapist and Eileen, especially Eileen, like she has no connection with Miss Polk, so she wouldn't even be thought of for killing her.
Exactly.
Just throw the gun away or something like that. I don't know, but she does the most stupidest thing. She literally just leaves and then hitchhikes, and that's the end of the freaking movie.
Yeah,
and then she's smiling like, "Oh my god, I'm free." And I'm thinking, all right, well, they want you to think, okay, she's free. She found an excuse to leave. Like, what? This is the most stupidest.
But the ending was just not good. I was like, really? That's how they end it? I was like, first off, is she getting busted for leaving her car there? Like, that's going to be traced back to you.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's the most dumbest ending. It's building up. They had this slow build up for this movie. Very slow, deliberate build up. And then possibility to have something good done, but they completely fall flat at the end of this movie. Literally, the most stupidest thing that could happen, they did it, and then she just leaves with no kind of payoff to this movie at all. And then she just smiles at the end, like, "Oh yeah, I'm free." Like, no,
Yeah.
you're not. You're about to get arrested soon. It's so stupid. Like, I think what they could have done with this movie, they could have, instead of having, they could have had, all right, so Eileen finds out Rebecca had her locked up. And then they could have gone ways. They could have had Rebecca was the crazy one the whole time, and Eileen was just not naive, you know, like that. Or they could have done what they did, had Eileen take the body, and then Rebecca comes. They try to hide it, and then Rebecca tells her like, "Hey, we shouldn't have done this," and then Eileen ended up killing Rebecca, or then one of them, they're fighting each other, and one of them ended up dying.
Yeah, or they could have had it where they actually set it up on her father.
Or that, yeah, and actually went through with it, or something. Like, it was just zero payoff to this movie. Like, you can't build up a movie and have no payoff. Like,
exactly.
And I always say this: the longer the build up, you have to have a really good payoff. And this was just nothing. It felt
garbage.
flat. It was just horrible. It's a waste of time to watch. The characters weren't good. It was a waste for Anne Hathaway. First of all, she should have. I mean, she did a good job playing the character, but it was just a waste of movie. She shouldn't even took this movie. The best person in this movie was the lady who played Miss Polk. She did an awesome job in the basement. You actually felt like you felt for her throughout. That was the only person I cared for in this damn movie. And the father was like, I didn't feel for the father as well. It was just a crap movie. I don't know what to say.
I know. Even when the father fell and hurt his face and had to get stitches, and the doctor's like, if he doesn't stop drinking, he's gonna die. I'm like,
yeah,
like just let him die. Like, this is not a good character.
Yeah, it's just trash.
The characters weren't really likable. Like,
no, I think they should have did the whole Eileen falling for Rebecca a little bit faster, or I don't know. It's just I see what they were trying to build that up, but it just felt fucking. It's just
there's so many different ways they could have went about it.
Yeah, they could have just.
And the only reason why, I can guarantee you, the only reason why people are watching that movie is because of Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, that's
the only reason why I watched that movie, because of Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, and this is the type of movie that just lets you know, like, you can make a trailer look as good as possible, and then it's a crap movie. So don't always, when you watch the trailer, be like, "Oh man, this is going to be great." Just look at the trailer. That don't mean it's going to be a good movie, because this this definitely was a stinker. It was so boring, bland. They could have done something good with it, but it's just, yeah, no good. I don't know. Was this based off a book or anything?
Yeah, it was based off the book by
Tessa. I don't know. Mosh something. I don't know.
It was a 2015 novel.
Yeah, I kind of want to know what the novel was about, how the novel ended, because I wonder if it was better than the movie, because this was just really, like, we were just talking about The Mist, how The Mist had a different ending compared to the book, and it actually was better than the book.
Yeah.
So this is complete opposite, unless it's the same way how the book ended.
I don't know. I have to find out. Did you actually read The Mist?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I read a couple Stephen King books, but I have not read The Mist. Yeah. So I read what was the last? I read It, and then I read The Stand.
I don't know The Stand.
Oh, that's a good one. It was another miniseries. Really good. Oh, it's really good. The last act wasn't as good, but the build up was really good. So.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Eileen. Are we gonna give a rating for this or what? What do you think?
What
What
would
kind of
you rate
rating?
it?
Out of what? So how are we gonna do a rating? So we can do letters. We can do numbers. What are we gonna do?
Let's do stars.
Stars. Out of what? 5?
Yeah, out of 5 stars.
I'm gonna give this. It's not all right. It's competent at some parts. I'm gonna give this 2 stars out of 5.
I would give it like a 1.5 star.
I think it had potential being good if they made that last part like good. It could have been good, but they completely screwed up. Like
Yeah. It's just that, like, you gotta think these things through. Like, what is the audience gonna gravitate towards? What are we gonna like? We like suspense, drama.
just how about first let's make the character likable.
Well, yeah.
You know, like she just wasn't likable at all. Like,
And it was the main character.
yeah, I guess
That's the problem.
Yeah, they try to make you feel bad for her, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right. I don't know.
But since she's not a likable character, it's hard to feel bad for her.
Yeah. That's just yeah. So yeah, that was.
Let us know what you think.
Yes.
If you like the movie, I'm sorry that we didn't like it. But let us know what you think. If you liked it, why you didn't like it, why you liked it.
Yeah, let us know. I wish that we can check the Rotten Tomatoes of this or the IMDb rating. Yeah, but we'll do that for the next one. But
Yeah, we'll have that prepared for the next one.
For the next one, yeah. But yeah, no good. Don't watch it, guys. But yeah, definitely let us know what you thought of it if you did see it.
You said don't watch it.
I know, but if you already made that mistake of watching it, let us know what you thought. But if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch it.
Do not recommend.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah,
So bad.
don't watch it. If you're an Anne Hathaway fan, just stay away. Just stay away.
It was not good.
No.
You will look at her in a different way.
Yes, you will. The other girl, the main character, she was in Jojo Rabbit, which I haven't seen yet.
I haven't seen that either.
But supposedly she, like her other roles, she actually did good, and at least her accent was good because she's not actually from Massachusetts. So.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, her accent was pretty good.
Yeah.
I give her props for that.
Yeah.
So that was good. That will give a thumbs up to.
Yeah, thumbs up to that. So we'll give the accent 4 stars.
Yeah, 4 stars. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that was Eileen. So let us know. Thank you for listening and watching, and make sure you hit the likes and the
subscribe,
the follows, the downloads, hit all that stuff.
Yeah, and don't forget to email us at whattherealpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, guys. So we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Bye.
Peace out.